G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for episode 7 of Wasteland Survival. So, in the last episode we basically connected up the mining ship and this little pipe here to all of the production gear. I built this kind of hangar, which I'm probably not going to do too much more with in this episode, or I may do, I don't know, we'll see how we go. But at the end of last episode we basically started building this contraption here. So if you haven't seen the last episode then I'd recommend watching it, but otherwise basically what we're going to do here is we are going to basically make kind of like an observation deck here, and we're going to get some stairs that kind of work their way down this wall here. And basically we're going to end up here so we can like kind of walk up there and, you know, get to all that stuff up there. So we'll be doing that in this episode. And then, as I said before, what I want to put behind this room is I basically want to put all of my production gear. And you might have remembered that the reason why I don't want to put all of the, you know, like the cargo storage room, cargo warehouse kind of deal up here is because basically the top of the room is going to like kind of pop out the side of this like little valley, I would say. So yeah, I've kind of got no choice but to place it here because I mean I really don't want it to kind of show through the mountain. So obviously I've got to kind of weld up these blocks, and then also I need to actually dig out the room. So yeah, I'm probably going to just weld these blocks up quickly. So let's just grab some armor plates here. Let's just start welding all this stuff up. Now I don't know what kind of skin I want to use for this. I'll probably just end up using the same battered armor skin as I have for the rest of the inside of this hangar. It's just going to be, you know, kind of like which color am I going to use. So I think actually I've made it all that color there, so I'll just change the color of all this stuff. And what I can do, if you want to change the color of an entire grid, if you press Control Shift middle mouse button click, then that will change the color of the entire grid. Now you got to be careful though, like, and make sure that it's not actually connected to something like this. Oh, look at that, there's a little bit of voxel there, you see that? So I'm gonna have to get my mining ship to get rid of that, because yeah, I could crash into that. Although it is right at the back of the hangar, so I guess it doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, this is one thing you got to be careful of, guys. I know I'm getting a bit sidetracked here, but if you do see things like this floating around in your hangar, you can be flying a ship like that along at 100 meters per second, hit that, and it will be like a solid brick wall, and it will destroy quite a bit of your ship. So don't underestimate the power of little tiny bits of voxel lying around your base. So yeah, always get rid of them. Anyway, let's continue on. Actually, in fact, one thing I didn't mention in the last episode, well, I did record a bit of it, but I decided to edit it out. But as you can see, I've added an additional battery onto this welding ship here. And the reason why I edited out that part was, the problem is that it didn't really work out for me because, yeah, it still doesn't really have enough power to lift. Like, it has enough thrusters so that it can theoretically lift 244,000 kilos. But whenever you get to around about 165,000 kilos, the thing kind of runs out of available power from the batteries and it just drops out of the sky. And when I first built this ship, it was on Mars, so you know the gravity there is 0.9, and it is an atmospheric planet. So it wasn't really much of an issue, but on this planet, you know, with the gravity being 1.2, that of Earth gravity, it did end up being quite a big issue. So yeah, that was kind of the reason why I didn't put it in the last episode is because I made all these changes to it, and it took me like 10 or 15 minutes of the episode, and none of it actually really made any kind of a difference, so I just decided to edit it out. So I think what I will do at one stage is I'll probably create a separate video where I modify this. So I will basically place conveyor frames like maybe there and maybe there, and then that'll give me another little bit more room to kind of add more batteries into the hull of the ship. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I think I will actually use this ship so that I can weld up some of these steel plates, because that is what I built it for. How many steel plates do I have? Oh, is that it? Jeepers. Alright, well, I guess I need to manufacture some more. And how much iron do I have? None. Alright, well. Such is space engineers. So you got to do one thing and then you find out you can't do that because you haven't got enough resources, and then you go to make the resources and then you find out you don't have enough stuff to build the resources. So let's go and do some mining. Let's unlock this thing, and I do really like this dock being out here. It just makes it so much easier. And you know what, it's probably a good thing that I'm getting this done before nighttime comes along. And I just realised that I'm wasting a whole bunch of power, which is not good. So yeah, I mean the base is, it's kind of working the way it is now, but it's just, yeah, I would like to get these production rooms up and running, so then from there I can kind of get rid of, the assemblers and refineries and cargo containers being in the middle of my nice garage that I built, and I can actually build the Nomad. And I know you guys are probably tired of me talking about it, and would actually like to see the thing being built finally. And yeah, I would actually like to get it built myself, to be honest with you. Alright, well I've mined a fair bit of iron, so let's head back to base with all this. She's struggling to lift up. This ship does have enough power to lift all this, it's just obviously, and you can see on this planet it gets maxed out, but when I was on Mars it never really did. So you can see there it's getting to about 98-95%. It's still a really good ship though, I love this ship. Originally this thing was a ion only ship, and when I first started in the game I basically used like a drop pod miner for quite some time. Come on, don't crash, don't crash. Oof. Yeah, alright, note to self, don't decelerate too quickly. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I'm always crashing things. I probably need to actually add some more, yeah. I guess, as I said before, this ship isn't really much of an issue on other planets where I built it, but obviously on this planet, with the gravity being the way that it is, you know, kind of struggling a little bit. So, miner, bottom connector. I'm still carrying that around for some reason. So yeah, last time that was in there as well, and I forgot to take it out. Alright, let's go and do another trip quickly. Alright, well, I've just finished my third mining trip, so we're going to head back now, and I think I should have about 380,000 iron. So I think I might have actually had some already there, but I just didn't see it before, so not sure what happened there. I think it was hiding in the connectors or the cargo containers for one of the ships, and obviously that's one of the reasons why I built those sorters out the front for this ship, because yeah, heaps of resources just kept ending up in the connectors for this ship here. And I think the other reason why it sank so fast the last time, or the first time that I came back, was because it was probably about 10,000 kilos heavier than it should be, because of the fact that it was loaded up with iron ingots rather than just iron ore. So let's just park this thing up. Beautiful. Alright, so let's move everything into the large cargo. And yeah, as you can see, I've got 289,000, and with each load you usually get about 100,000 ingots. So, and then if I have a look for iron here, you can see that some of it will end up, so yeah, see, some of it ends up in this connector here. And I think obviously that's a connector that I'm docked up to at the moment. So, and as you can see, I've got about 373,000. So I might even get around about 400,000. So anyway, I'm going to build a ton of steel plates again. Probably even build more than that. 30,000, that should do for now. So yeah, that's 215,000 iron, and I got 371k, which is plenty. So okay, now that that is done, now I can actually withdraw some steel plates and actually start welding this stuff up. Okay guys, well, as you can see, I have finished welding up all these steel plates here. Now, I did do a couple of things off camera. Well, I thought I was recording, but I actually wasn't, so yeah. I actually ran out of ice, so I had to go mine some more. And it seems that I am actually carrying an additional bottle, which I don't really want to do. Yeah, so I had to go mine some more ice, and then I was messing around with beginning to create the frame template, and this is going to basically be my drill guide. You know, it's very similar to all the other drill guides that I've done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on with this kind of template here. Now, I'm not exactly sure what dimensions I want to make this room. I don't really want to make it massive, like as long as this room and as long as the hangar, so I may just go about 5 or 6 blocks deep, and then I'll see how I go from there, because this room doesn't really need to be massive, but at the same time what I do need to do is weld these up. I need to make kind of like a doorway here that goes up to some stairs, and then those stairs end up on this level here. So how many blocks is that? That's 1, 2, 3. So I need to at least make it, well, if I use the catwalk, graded catwalk stairs, then I need to make it at least 3 blocks long from this point. Whereas if I use these stairs here, where are we? So these standard stairs, then obviously they go 2 blocks across and then 1 block up. I do like using these stairs because I think they look pretty cool. But if I do use them, then it's going to have to be quite long. So yeah, I guess I'll make it probably... I'll start off with a template of 5 blocks, I'll drill that out, and then I'll see how I go from there. Alright, so let's go and build this here drill guide. Turn my lights back on so I can actually see what I'm doing. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 6 blocks if I include the blocks that I've already laid out. So yeah, I mean, this is just going to be exactly the same as all the other drill templates that I've done. And I will be back in a second. Okay, well, I've decided to make this thing about 7 blocks long. Well, I guess it looks like it's wide, but yeah, 7 blocks deep. So I'm going to quickly take a blueprint of this, rename this to Wasteland Drill Guide 5, and then let's get back undercover before I get struck by lightning. Phew. I really thought I was going to get struck by lightning there. Okay, now I'm just going to... And, as you can probably notice, I ended up getting rid of the other drill guide that was there before. So, yeah, there is that as well. I'm going to recolor that. Yep, that's so much better. Okay, now I want to withdraw the components for a projector. One large steel tube. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I will place the projector here. And the reason for that is because the first block that I created on that template was on the bottom right, bottom left, you know, depending on which way you look at it. So let's weld this up. I think what I need to do as well is just add like a control panel to this thing. So where's my button panel? This one. Let's add a sci-fi control panel because why not? Apparently I don't have any displays. Okay, thank you. That's better. So let's place that there. I could just remote control it, I suppose, but where's the fun in that? Okay, so the projector. Oh, alright. So here you can see what I was talking about before, where it's like kind of a separate grid. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to join this thing up with the hanger. So let's just put some blocks all the way down here. So then now I have power. So you can see it's turned green now. Okay, let's try this again. And you can see. So projector. I don't know which one I'm going to call this. I'll just call it Projector 3 because I'm just not sure. Drill. Wasteland Drill Guide 5. You can see my naming convention is getting a bit mixed up here. Okay, so I've basically got to... Alright, let's do it from here. Remote access. Let's select our projector, number 3. Set the pitch to 90 degrees. The vertical offset to -1 and the forward offset to about there. Okay, awesome. And then so yeah, I should be able to just drill in like 7 blocks from there, and then yeah, basically just kind of weld this stuff up. Now one thing I didn't really mention before, well I kind of did, but I didn't actually get it captured on camera, so I'll kind of go through it now. But I think maybe later on what I might do is maybe try and do something along the lines of, you know, like making it so that this part here is tapered, and then put like a block here, and then kind of like put a block like this here, a 90-degree block, I mean a 45-degree angle block,
energy
and
low.
You know, make something like this just to try and give it a bit of, you know, contour. Although, as you can see, I kind of want this, so I'm not sure yet what I want to do with that. I'm just going to kind of play around with it for a little bit, and then we'll just see how we go, I guess. But for now, I'll just leave the standard blocks here. Okay, so I guess when I start my drilling, and actually, you know what? Before I start drilling anything, I'm going to change my tools back to the color that I want, because for some reason they just keep changing, and it's really, really annoying. You can see that bit of loading going on here. So yeah, every time I load the game, my tools change colour. It is annoying. Alright, so I'm going to start from the bottom. And the reason why I'd like to start from the bottom is because the floor is something that I'm always going to cover up. So the first initial hole, if I mess it up, it doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, I always like to kind of start from the bottom and kind of go from there. Is that the last block? Yeah, that's the last block.
Critical.
Alright, cool. Well, I'm going to go away and drill this out, and then I will be back once that's all done. And then I'll probably drill it out with the mining ship as well, and then yeah, come back after that's done. Okay guys, well, you can kind of see that I have my little room dug out here. So yeah, and this is basically what it's going to look like. Obviously I just need to, you know, make this into a room. You know, basically put a floor in, roof, all that sort of stuff. And I may actually make this like a fully airtight room. That hunchback dropship is actually getting quite close to me. Hopefully it doesn't get any closer, and hopefully it doesn't crash on top of me. Yeah, so as I was saying, I basically need to put this floor in, and then yeah, I'm not exactly sure if I'm happy with the size of this room, or if I want to make it bigger or smaller or whatnot. But I think it looks okay for now, so I'm just gonna, you know, place the floor down and just see how we're looking after that. So let's withdraw a whole bunch of blocks here, and let's start placing our floor. So yeah, I think I might even make this room a little bit bigger. It is a little bit small for my liking, although that is just what I think. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe also what I can do is, like, in this section here, I can make it pop out a little bit more. So you remember how I was saying, like, I might actually, you know, taper these blocks a little bit. Maybe what I can do instead is just kind of like taper it out at one point here, like maybe say about here. Is it there on that side, or is it there? Yeah, so maybe just like here or something, kind of taper it out so that it's like one block further out, and I have like kind of like a bit more of a platform to stand out on that kind of extends past this. Very similar to what I've done on my asteroid base, and I do actually have a video on that one, so if you guys want to check it out, just yeah, it'll be in my base tours. So anyway, I'm going to go lay out this floor. I'm going to lay out the roof, the back wall here, and then I'm kind of going to go from there, and then I need to kind of come up with a design for the walls. Maybe I'll make something similar to like, I want to make it a little bit like the rest of the base, where there's like supports holding up the roof and all that sort of stuff, but I don't know if I want to make it just exposed voxels like it is here. Yeah, I mean, I could make it exposed voxels, but I don't know, I think it might be a little bit more work than what I'm willing to put into it. I mean, not more work than I'm willing to put in, but I think it might just be a little bit too difficult and tedious just to do that with every single room. And I kind of want to make some sections of the base airtight, just so that I can kind of escape the weather if I want to. You know, let's take my helmet off here. And yeah, I guess it would be nice to have some sections of the base where I can actually take my helmet off. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how we go. So anyway, I'm going to lay out all these blocks, and then I'll be back in a second. Okay, well, I'm back, and I haven't really finished, laying out these blocks, but I had a bit of an idea. So I thought, obviously this is the way that I had it before. This kind of thing that popped out of the wall. But I think what I might do instead is something like this. I think that's just going to look a little bit more interesting. The only issue with that is that I might have to play around with the window a little bit more, but I think that's going to look pretty cool, so I might just go with that. And then what I can do for the walls to kind of give it a bit more structure is I can kind of make just these flat pieces like my pillars, and then we can kind of go from that. So I'm going to go and I'm going to change all this up, and while I'm at it, I think what I might do is try and figure out what I'm going to do with my window. So maybe what I can do instead is kind of put my window here, because I think I said I wanted to have so let's just actually, you know what, let's try and figure this out on camera. So grab my 2x3, place that. Probably want to place my windows there like that, and I think it was like that. Put all my 3 down, and then from there what I can do is I can get my 2x1 windows. I need a 2x3 actually, and I need to place it somewhere like that. Like that. So maybe what I can do instead is kind of drill these windows out. Not drill them out, but grind them out. I'll grind out these blocks here. Awesome, well they're ground out. What I might do though, I need to kind of place some blocks here just so that these blocks don't fall to the ground when I go to grind them in or grind them out. Let's place a block there. Let's place another block there like that, and then I need another half block. Right, let's place it like that. Let's weld these up quickly. Come on. Oh, that was weird. I don't know what happened there. I wasn't actually clicking on anything. Let's just do this side as well while we're here. Drop these blocks there like that, them like that, and another half block here like this. Right, okay, so now we're looking pretty good. So it's the same on both sides. So now what I can do is I can get my 2x1 window like that there. Now the only issue with that is that I can't actually place a block here. So maybe what I'll do, maybe I'll just have to go straight back like that. I don't know. But in order to make this all hunky-dory and airtight, then basically I will place a 2x3 window there. Then I will get my 3x3 windows and I'll place them backwards like this. And yeah, so then my windows will be countersunk one block. And yeah, I think that's going to look pretty sweet. Now what I need to do now is kind of drill out these walls on the side so that I can make it all kind of match up. So I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and I'll drill straight back. Alright, so let me just kind of show you what I mean by straight back. So let's turn this projector back on. I will put the horizontal offset at 1. and then we'll move over to this side because that's where it's projecting. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of drill through the wall at this point, and then I think that'll give me a decent starting point, or it will allow me to put down all the blocks that I want to, and it doesn't look, you know, terrible. So yeah, alright, I will drill these two sides out and then I'll be back. Well guys, it seems like I've run into a little bit of a problem. So, and I'll just kind of try and explain it here. So, well, it's not really a problem, but it just kind of makes things look a bit ugly. So if I just drill here in the square, so you can see here, the voxels, they meet up quite nicely with this, and it looks like it's just poking out of the wall. Now the issue comes along when I try and drill it out, so let me just put this block back and you will see what I mean. So let's place the block back here, and you can see that when I drill on this side, then this side kind of becomes exposed. So I think what I'm going to have to do is something like this. So what I'll do instead is I'll place some blocks here like this. I'll get my other block like this. Where is it? Like that. I'll place another one of these in there. So yeah, that, I reckon that looks pretty good. I don't want to drill that. So yeah, I'm just going to have to do something like that. That's really going to be all I can do to kind of make this look good and kind of still continue on with the theme. Fantastic. Okay, so, and then I believe from here I could put in, I wonder if one of these new blocks would do. Yeah, maybe I can do that. Oh, that just looks really good. I really like that. I don't know about you guys, but I think that looks pretty cool. And it kind of solves my issue of me drilling too close to the wall here and it just looking like absolute garbage. So let's just confirm that though. So let's drill this out. I'm not going to go too close though, just in case it doesn't look good. Awesome. And yeah, as you can see, it looks quite nice. At least I think it does. So then I'm going to go to place my 2x1 base here, and then my half block. Just weld these up. Yeah, that looks quite nice. Then we have our little bit there, and then here I'll have my window. The only thing that's bothering me a little bit is this little kind of grey bit there, but it's going to be so hard to see that I don't think it's really going to matter too much. But yeah, for the time being, I think that looks pretty cool. And then what I can do is I can make this a flat wall, and then these can be my pillars. And I think that's going to look pretty cool. And I'll probably do one every second block, just for simplicity purposes. I don't know, maybe I'll make it a bit more than that, but yeah, well, I guess we'll just see how we go. Okay guys, well, as you can see, I have welded up quite a bit of this hanger, and yeah, I'm kind of a little bit indecisive as to what I want to do with this room. So I'm pretty happy with how the walls are looking, but I'll just show you a couple of things that I've kind of fleshed out. So as you can see here, I'm going to have like my pillars coming up like this,
Energy low.
And they will be this color. So this is pretty much going to be the whole design. So there's going to be pillars that go all the way across here like that. Let me see if I can turn my light off. Yeah, that it looks a little bit better. But so on this side, obviously I've just got like my full blocks here all the way along. Then I've got kind of like my 2x1 bases that go back up there, and then they go to half blocks here. Or alternatively, what I've done here is I've made like 3 different versions. So alternatively, what I can do is I can put some of these light armor inverted corners 2x1s, and then I can put the new blocks that they added all the way along beside it, so that it kind of looks like that. Yeah, so you can kind of get a bit of a better idea like that. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that for this side, just because obviously this block is there. So I'm going to have to kind of continue it on from this point here and then create another one there. Now, the other option is that I can get... I wish this game would really stop hitching. The other option I have is I can do it like this, very similar to how I had my Mars base. So again, I have my 2x1 inverted corner bases, and then I have my inverted corner tips, and then I just have the 45-degree light armor slopes. And then along here, I will have my main blocks. I'll just have regular square blocks or cubed blocks here, and then I will kind of repeat this pattern there. So I'm really not sure which way I want to go. The only thing with going kind of like this way is that if I want to put an interior light here, I can put it there, but it's going to look a little bit weird. So I can do it like this. Otherwise, what I can do is, like, this is very similar to my Mars base. I can just place the lights there. But at the end of the day, I could make it like exactly the same as my Mars base, or I could just make something entirely new. And I don't know, maybe I just will. Maybe I will just make it like something that I haven't done before. So I think to that end, I might just go these blocks here all the way along here, and then I'm going to separate these pillars out a little bit, and then yeah, obviously I'm going to make the walls this color. Maybe I'll make the floors that color as well, and I'll make the pillars this kind of like dark battered armor color. So yeah, as I said, I do think this looks probably the best. But yeah, like I've done it before, so maybe I'll just change it up a bit and then we can do something different. And maybe I can just put some corner lights that go like that on each side, you know, and just kind of put them there like that. Obviously this one will be over there. And yeah, maybe that's what's going to look pretty good. So yeah, alright, well I'll go ahead and I'll place all these blocks and weld them all up, and then we'll see how it all looks. Well, as you can see, I am finished welding up all this stuff. Now, the only thing I'm not entirely happy with is just the fact that this, this side here is a bit different to this side. And as I mentioned before, I can't really make this part here go up like that out here, because I don't really want half blocks there, and I'm not going to be able to seal up the room and make it airtight, which is what I actually want to do with this room. So to that end, I think what I will do is I will just make another one of these support pillars over here. So I'll have to go probably another 2 blocks deep into this here mountain, and then I will just make it the same as this on that side there. So here I'll basically place some. Let me get my blocks here.
Critical.
So yeah, really bad time to run out of fuel, but it always seems to be the case. So yeah, anyway, I'll place some flat blocks along that side, and then I will basically create another, like a fourth pillar, and then I'll have my wall. Okay guys, well, as you can see, I have finished most of this, I guess you would call it a control center. At least, you know, that's what I'm calling it. So you might notice there's a few changes to the way it was set up last time. So I'll just go through them. So obviously I've added in these sloped blocks here, and then some more armor blocks to try and hide these conveyor tubes here. And then ultimately the connector will be around about there. And then what I did is I offset this window by 1 block, and I put in these 2x1 sloped windows. I must admit I'm not loving the fact that there's this line here, but you know, it's kind of the only window in the game that will get across that space. So yeah, that's kind of it. So now what I'm trying to do is, oh yeah, and you can kind of see inside that I've finished off everything, and I basically built it how I said I was going to build it on this side. So the room looks nice and symmetrical, I think. So now there's a couple more things I need to do. So obviously the first thing I need to do is I need to sort out some lights. And I just wanted to kind of go through these corner lights with you guys, because I think there is something quite important to know about these corner lights that some people might not be aware of. And then also at the back of the room you can kind of see my, I can't remember what these blocks are called, the gate. Is it a gate? Yeah, gate. So I got this gate set up at the rear, and what I might end up doing is just, you know, creating some sort of an interesting shape, you know, probably with these blocks here, and maybe cover it up like this, and you know, but I guess that's going to be a bit later on. So yeah, we'll go through that as well. But yeah, as I said, I kind of wanted to go through these lights. So when setting up corner lights, yeah, it's a little bit weird. So let me just try and explain here. So let me just grab my corner light out, and as you can see, my corner light is, you know, like that. So I can place a corner light like that, and then I can spin it around and turn it the other way around, and then let's say I want to place one there. So now if I weld up these two corner lights, and they look like they're in the exact same orientation, but let's just turn off my character's lights here. Let's go into the control panel, remote access. Let's go into our terminal and our corner light, and you can see these two are the ones that are complete. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the offset for both of these lights to, let's say, 5 meters. So you can see that this light, we can't see where the light source has gone. So, and the reason for that is because the light source is going downwards, whereas this one, it's going that way. So depending on how you orientate a corner light will depend on where the offset of light actually is. So yeah, what I want them to do is I want them to go towards the floor, and I don't want them to go like that. So I'm going to grind this light out here. Let's grind that out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my light again, and then I'm going to flip it around again like that, and then I'm just going to place it in the same location as all the others. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think some people probably know that already, but yeah, I find it to be a little bit helpful. So let me just place some more there, some more there. Try and keep this a little bit symmetrical here. I don't really need to put any there because you're not really going to see them. Oh, maybe I will. Nah, I'll just leave it like that and I'll see how it looks. The lights outside should kind of bleed into this area here, so let's just quickly weld all these up. Alright, well, all these lights are all welded up and it's looking pretty sweet. So now what I want to do is I just want to go into my control panel here. So I'll turn off my character's lights just so I get a better idea of what I'm dealing with here. So let's just go back into the remote access terminal. Let's find our corner lights. And then I think what I'll do is I'll rename these lower command center light 1. And the reason why I'm calling it the lower command center is because I'll probably have one upstairs way down the track, but I mean that's probably getting a bit far, so let me just quickly rename all these. Okay, so they're all renamed, looking nice and even in the control panel here. So now what I want to do is let's select all of these lights and let's try and get a decent radius happening here. So as you can see, I've kind of made the user interface a little bit transparent so that I can see what I'm doing. So I'm probably going to set the offset to about 2.5, and then it should end up somewhere in the middle. And in fact, it looks like these 3 lights here are in the incorrect positions. So let me quickly fix this up. Okay, well I've re-welded up those lights, replaced them and then renamed them so they're all matching. Alright, so now let's get back to configuring these lights. So control panel again, command center. Now, as I was saying before, I want to set the offset to about 2.5 meters, the intensity to about 1.2, which is my usual. The fall off I want to set to about 2.0. And then the radius, we'll just increase this until it lights up the entire room. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go for a radius of 10 meters here. So it seems that I may need some lights in these corners here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll place some lights. So how many blocks do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Energy low.
I didn't really want to put lights there, but I might not have a choice. Yeah, so maybe what I'll do instead is I'll place some corner lights on the edges. So rather than placing them in the middle like that, I can just place them like this. And they should still be the same orientation as what they were before. So I don't really need this many lights, but I'm just doing it for like kind of aesthetic purposes. And what I mean by that is obviously I can't put a light here because the window occupies that space. So let's quickly weld these up. Okay, well these lights are all welded up, so now let's go back into our remote access. Let's find our remote access, sorry. Let's find our corner lights. First of all, I just want to make sure, or I just want to check which light number I was up to. So 15. Okay, so let's find our corner lights. Let's rename this to 16. So I'll just quickly rename all these. Okay, well I've renamed all them. So now what I'll do is I will just type in command here, and then that should hopefully bring up all the lights in the command center. So these were all the new ones here. So let me just double check that the offset is set correctly. So yeah, as you can see, the light source is moving downwards. So again, I'll set this to about 2.5. I'll set the radius to about 10. I will set the fall off to about 2.0. Intensity 1.2. Awesome. And now I think that looks pretty good. So that's the lights sorted out. Obviously I need to dig a tunnel for the hallway that's going to be on the back of this room. But one of the other things that I need to do is I need to remember how I said in the last episode that I wanted to kind of create access through here up into that room there. So to that end, what I plan to do, now there's a couple of things I can do. So the first thing is I can just make some more doors that kind of come out here. or they could come out here, or they could basically come out anywhere really. But I think I do like the idea of having a door down here. And then what I will need to do is I can't go and put a stairway that goes up this way into this floor, because these conveyor tubes are going to go that way. So I might need to, actually, maybe I can. Let me just work this out here. I was thinking maybe I couldn't because of the fact that these conveyor tubes are going to be here, but what I can do is I can just make the conveyor tube go, occupy that block behind this block, and then just start going that way, and then put the stairs up that way. So let me just make sure though that I can actually do that, because we're going to need some stairs that are at least 6 blocks long, as you can see, and then finally we'll end up on that same level. So let's just see where we're at. So I would need to start the stairs probably about here. So if I go, say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure if I want to put the stairs there or not. I guess I might have to play around with this a little bit, and then do a bit of playing around off camera and then see how it looks. And yeah, I guess the other thing that I wanted to do as well, I can't really remember. Yeah, it'll come to me. So I guess one of the other things that I want to do is kind of create a stairwell that goes up to this point here, and then continue this catwalk all the way along the sides here. But I think that catwalk will end up being a little bit of a long-term thing, and I don't know if I will really think about doing that right now. Yeah, so, and the other way that I can do it is I can just have the stairs coming up to the sides here. Oh yeah, that's right. The other thing that I want to do as well is I kind of want to create like a platform that kind of goes here or something. Can I put a... No, I can't put one there. So maybe have something like build my graded catwalks. And then I'll have something like this.
Energy
so I'll put that
critical.
one there. Then I'll have like my other catwalk like that. Another one like that. Another one like that. Another one like that. And then, in fact, get rid of these because I need these to have railings on all the sides. So I'll make these end pieces like that. Fantastic. And then grab my stairs. I have some grated stairs like that. So I thought about doing something a bit like that as well. So we come up these stairs, then we can kind of get a bit of a better view of what's going on here. I would love to have some control panels on these blocks here, and maybe what I can do is kind of create some transparent LCDs that hang off the roof here, and so maybe get like 3. Do I have LCDs? Let's have a look. I don't know if I have them. Alright, so
no energy.
okay, now as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my character dying from a lack of oxygen, I might put some transparent LCDs like here, and then maybe have like a bit of a display going on there. Maybe what I'll do actually though is just move this thing back like 1 block, and then I can kind of have some LCDs going down even further, or maybe even some LCDs on the floor, or maybe some LCDs on some hinges so that they're like kind of pointing up at me. When I kind of look down I can see some LCDs down there like that. So yeah, you know, there's a couple of things that I want to do to kind of dress up this room, but yeah, so I definitely got to think about a few things. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out which way I want to provide access to this lower door here, using these stairs, whether I want to go straight back or whether I want to go up to the side here. Once I figured that out, I will be back and I will show you guys the result. Well, I'm back and I've spent quite a bit of time modifying this base, and as you can see, I'm trying to get struck by lightning again. But anyway, so as you can see on the front here, I've made a few changes. So I've kind of tried to taper this part a little bit out. I've tried to make this bit come out and kind of cover these blocks here, or these conveyors. Obviously I have another unfinished conveyor here and the connector that will eventually be connected to the Nomad. The other thing that I did as well was I created these sort of tapers, so it has this like nice kind of shape to it, and then I've tried to make that the same up the top here. We'll see if my lights work. Yes, they do. And yeah, as you can see, it kind of gives it a little bit more character. And then what I've done is I've kind of created a bit of a hybrid between the two stair methods that I was talking about before. And what I mean by that is, so I'll just kind of show you. So as we walk through this hallway here, you can see I've got one set of stairs going upwards, and then to the left and to the right I've got a set of stairs rising through the floor. And obviously I've got my barriers here, and then up here I have created kind of like this command center. So yeah, I've got the two console blocks on either side. It did take me a little bit of playing around with this to try and figure out what I really wanted to do with it. So you know, I tried toying with some batteries, I tried putting some power efficiency modules here, but yeah, I ended up settling on this design. So probably what I'll do is I'll load a blueprint in here for maybe like the Pioneer, and then on the other side I'll load a blueprint for maybe like the Nomad. And then obviously you can see up here I have my transparent LCDs. So on the left I've got my energy and hydrogen, the planetary gravity in the middle, and the weather. So as you can see, it is an electrical storm, which I guess we can hear in the background anyway. So yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. Let me know what you guys think, if you like it, don't like it, and whatnot. So yeah, and the only kind of thing I need to do now is put some lights in this hallway. I'm not exactly sure what color I want the lights to be. I think I may go with orange, because it kind of suits the planet, or maybe I can go yellow or something like that. I'm not exactly sure yet, so I'll play around with that. The second thing is these conveyor systems. So if we have a look on the side here, I have done the same thing here as I did here, and that's to try and hide you know, where I drilled out the voxels, because basically when I was drilling out the voxels for these conveyor tubes, and what I'll do is I'll just grind this block back. So I've got this conveyor here, which then connects to another conveyor there, and then this conveyor there. And I really wish this lightning would go away and stop destroying my base. It is annoying. Nevertheless, it is here, so I must embrace it. So, yep, and then obviously I have a 90-degree conveyor tube running from this one to this one. And then off this conveyor junction, I have some more conveyor tubes that kind of run along this wall, and then they go under this block here, and then under the floor here. And then what I've done is they've ended up here. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to connect the conveyor junctions all the way through here, and it's going to extend through this hallway, and then from there I'm going to have all of my production rooms at the end of this hallway, and yeah, it should all be nicely connected together. This lightning just will not go away. It's so annoying. Okay, so I guess the only thing left to do now is, well, apart from, you know, put some accent lights down this little hallway, is to, first I'll weld this block up. So let's just place this block back. Awesome. Okay, so as I was saying, the next thing I want to do is I need to run conveyors from here all the way up to this base up here. So to that end, I have placed this projector, and as is my usual style, you can see that kind of L-shaped line of blocks. So that's going to basically be another drill guide. So I have projected that through this mountain here, and that's basically going to end up, so you can kind of see the outline of those blocks there. So that's awesome because that's the same level as those blocks. And then if I go back up here, you can kind of see that they end up here. So I'm going to have to grind down these conveyor tubes here. Grind this one down as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to follow this down. So I'll bring out my drill. I'm going to follow this all the way down the ground as best as I can. Awesome. Okay, now we'll start heading this way. Fantastic. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this block. I'm going to place in a conveyor. And then from there, I basically need to run my conveyor tubes. So the only problem with doing it this way is that I kind of need to select a conveyor tube, weld it up, select the conveyor tube again, weld it up again, and just rinse and repeat this process until I get all the way to the top. So I will quickly go away and do that, and I will connect everything up again, and it looks like this storm has finally stopped. Yay! So later on I need to go and assess all the damage that's been done to my base. Now the only problem with the way that I've designed it at this point is I need to travel all the way back here to kind of grab all the components that I need to build this stuff. So let's select a conveyor tube. Awesome. And as you can see, there's no voxel removal around this point here. So that's good. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't really want the voxels to be showing, so let's make our way down here and let's finish this up. Alright, well, I've almost finished welding this up, so now I just need to connect this last conveyor junction, weld that up, and now all these conveyor systems are connected. So what that also means is that these two grids are connected, so basically this entire room is now connected via those conveyors to the hangar itself, or the garage. So theoretically what I should be able to do is just get rid of these blocks and they will then remain connected. Let's just try that. Awesome. So I reckon that's looking pretty good. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, so and then I can weld up these. So weld up this conveyor here. Very nice. And then I can weld up this connector. Awesome. And then what I think I will do is maybe something like, so I could just connect, I could just put some blocks in here like this, like that.
Energy critical.
But I don't know if I really want to do that. I could do it that way. I could put like a half block here, and then maybe some blocks like that. And yeah, let's see how that looks. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't look great either. I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with that a bit more. So the next thing I need to do is kind of create some stairs that go from that platform all the way down to the ground. And before I run out of energy, let's just charge it up a bit here. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Just trying to think if there was anything else that I've done that I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, obviously just the button panel, and I've changed the color of these blocks to the kind of like the army camouflage black, just because, yeah, I think it looks a little bit better. So yeah, there is that as well. So obviously the next thing I need to do is kind of drill out this hallway here, and then create my production room, battery room, power room, assemblers, O2, H2 generators, refineries, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, there is all that I need to build as well. So just before I end this episode, there's one other thing that I wanted to show you. So if we go into this room here, you can see that I have just placed a air vent. So as I said before, I want to make this room airtight completely. So what I will do is I will place an air vent here. I will probably place another air vent there, and do the same on each side, and then I will do the same for this row as well. Now my plan to get conveyor tubing up to this point here is pretty simple really. So what I plan to do is make a tube run from this all the way that way, and basically the tube will run underneath the floor here, and then it will go past this wall, it will go up, and then it will run all the way down here, and it will end up here, and there I will place a conveyor tube, and then obviously I'm going to create tubes that go along that way as well, and they should all hook up quite nicely, and yeah, we'll have a nice airtight hangar space. So it's probably going to take me about 6 of these air vents to make it, you know, pressurized pretty quickly, but I think that's going to look pretty good, and I really like the way that they are flush with those half blocks there. I always like to do that with my air vents, just put them flush like that, or at least, you know, maybe put some 2x1 bases in there so that, you know, they look nice and flush and countersunk, and you don't have this like basically like a step. And the game seems to be hitching again. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed Wasteland Survival Episode 7, and I hope to see you in Wasteland Survival Episode 8. Please consider giving us a like if you like this content, and definitely consider subscribing so you don't miss another episode. Anyway guys, I will see you next time.